This week in horror, you might have missed some exciting new stories. We had some new trailers drop for some highly anticipated new movies like the Toxic Avenger reboot, Weapons, and The Strangers Chapter 2. Let's talk about all of these stories and more in today's weekly Woes. So starting off with something kind of fun here, Johnny Knoxville is going to be hosting the Fear Factor revival, which is really exciting. I know, not exactly horror news, but I think this is really fun. I like the idea of Johnny Knoxville hosting this. Joe Rogan was the previous host, and then I think Ludacris did it for like a season or something over on MTV. But this is going to be Fox's new revival called Fear Factor: The Next Chapter. Again, I'm not going to spend too much time on this. I think he's a great choice from his Jackass days, obviously. I'm sure he's going to get into some crazy shenanigans in this little crazy series. And also, if you go to this website here, fearisback.com, you can actually apply to compete on the show if you're down for something like that. Most people, maybe not so much, and that's totally fine. But I thought I'd throw it out there. Check out that website if you're interested. Getting into one of our first big movie updates, Stephen King's The Stand will return with new movie from director Doug Liman. I have so much to say about this. This is so interesting. So The Stand is probably one of the more popular Stephen King like epics out there. It's like one of his longer stories. It's very similar to The Dark Tower in the sense that it's kind of like an odyssey of characters all kind of converging to take down evil. That's a very general way to describe it, I think, but it's just it's a long story, and they're trying to make it all condensed into one movie here, and that's not what I'm loving. Variety reports that the project does not yet have a script, however, so development may take some time as Lyman and the studio winnow King's novel, which runs 1,153 pages in its unabridged version, into a single movie. But the studio sees the movie as a priority and is moving forward aggressively to make it happen. Now, this is coming from Paramount, a studio that's been kind of up and down, hits and misses, just constantly facing potential bankruptcy, which is why I feel like they're like, any single popular sort of thing that's an IP, let's throw it out there, let's make it happen. And anything Stephen King is, you're gonna get, that's a built-in audience right there. People are gonna check it out if it's got Stephen King's name written all over it. So even something like The Stand, which isn't like, it's horror, sure, like it's about a virus that ravages the world and kills the majority of the population, but that's not even really the majority of the story, interestingly enough. It's like that happens, then the survivors kind of go into this like battle of good versus evil. That's the story right there, I feel. Maybe a movie like this will focus more on the infection. You know, again, this is definitely going to be a different version of the story than what we know of it. It's not going to be like the miniseries from Mick Garris, which I think is actually pretty good. Something that I would actually really recommend, the 1994 series, the 2021 or 2020, was it 20? No, it's 2020. Yeah, this article says it. Not so great. I don't really recommend that one as much, but the Mick Garris series, really fun, really interesting. I would definitely check that one out. Out of all of the 90s like miniseries we got from like the King catalog, this is easily one of the best across the board. Oh, and also it has one of the greatest jump scares in television history, which I won't tell you what it is or where it is, but give it a watch. It's really interesting. But, you know, there's something about The Stand that I do feel like is a bit of a positive thing here, because a lot of this is just like, what? You know, any fan of The Stand is scratching their head right now, wondering what this is going to be, essentially. But I think there's one big positive that this movie could change about the original story that I personally do not like. The ending of this novel, which I'm gonna spoil it for you. Maybe you care, maybe you don't. It is a Deus Ex Machina ending that is unbelievably frustrating after the epic that we go through with these characters. The hand of God comes down and just takes out all the bad guys, basically, just to sum it up in a real general sense. I hate it. Like, I mean, I hate it with a capital H. There needs to be an adaptation of this story where that doesn't happen. It's a theme. Listen, it's a theme throughout the entire novel of religion. I get it. I understand why that was the ending that was chosen, but I don't like it. It's too easy. There's too much setup with these characters for it to end like this. And I really hope that in some sort of adaptation of this story, even something like this that may just pale in comparison to the 90% of it that is so great, maybe it can find a way to end this story in a better light. That could be really interesting to me. That could lend itself to some sort of conversation. Kind of like the Pet Sematary remake, where that movie I don't think is necessarily great. It does do some things, in my opinion, that is a little stronger than like the original movie or even the original story. There's like one or two things in there that I'm like, okay, that's a talking point. This is a movie I'll definitely revisit for that reason. Everything with the sister is basically the big thing I'm talking about there. I've never liked that whole subplot. I don't think it really works. Probably the weakest part of Pet Sematary, but I think they do it, they utilize it in a scarier way for that 2019 remake. Can this version of The Stand, which is already kind of shooting itself in the foot, find a way to have a stronger ending? Well, maybe we'll find out sometime soon when they actually figure this one out with some sort of crazy cut down script. A new teaser has come out for the film Together, dropping at the end of next month. This is a movie that kind of all over the place with the updates on this one. First, it was reported that Together is like this brand new bizarre horror movie that people are raving about out of like all these different film festivals at the top of the year. It has a 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. There is so much love for this movie, and then bam, out of nowhere, lawsuit hits. Someone is saying that they stole their idea for this. And that it's not original. It's a stolen thing. There's all these lawsuits. There's not all these lawsuits. There's one big lawsuit. And it was really upsetting because I had a lot of hype for this movie. Comes out on July 30th. Stars Allison Brie and Dave Franco, a real life couple. And it's even about like a couple who's struggling with their relationship, and then all of this weird, bizarre shit happens. Let's read this plot description right here. With tensions already flaring, a nightmarish encounter with a mysterious, unnatural foe threatens to corrupt their lives, their love, and their flesh. And guys, if you've seen any of the marketing for this, you know that these two characters are basically going to merge together. we saw there's a lot of body horror being teased in those previews. Feels pretty self-explanatory as to what this movie is going to be about. A lot of commentary on codependency, but talking about this lawsuit a little more. We actually had director Michael Shanks come out from Neon and post a big statement regarding what the hell is going on here. You can check this out over on any of Neon's social media pages. He essentially goes down and says that he came up with this idea. He's had it in his back pocket for a very long time, and it's just now, basically just now was getting off the ground and coming out this year. But all the way back in October of 2020, he was working on this thing. Even 2019 was the first draft. And he says that it just sucks that maybe someone else had a similar idea around the same time. Just to sum it up for you, again, you can check all this out on your own. I'm in a position where I want to believe the guy. To me, this comes off as a really fresh idea. This comes off as something really fun, something really original. I don't want to believe that this was something that was stolen. Maybe another update will come about that will be really unfortunate. Whatever the truth ends up being, I'm sure we'll know 100% at some point in the future. But for now, I'm gonna take Michael's side on this one. I really hope that he's telling the truth. I really hope that this is just his own original creation. I feel like if this sucks, if it sucks and it doesn't feel authentic, then maybe we'll know at the end of the day. It's all going to be subjective when everything's said and done, but I think you're going to be able to tell when you're watching the film. And with all this rave review and just really positive things surrounding the film, this one little thing is just kind of harsh in the mellow, which sucks. And I hope ultimately it doesn't end up being true, and it's just someone just trying to get attention, which would ultimately suck at the end of the day, but it happens, unfortunately. The unrated red band trailer for Toxic Avenger has just dropped. Wow, like I am so excited for this movie, man. This is another story that's had like just a lot of drama behind it. The Toxic Avenger was made all the way back in 2023, premiered in a bunch of festivals. People were really digging it, and then just no release date. Just they shelved it, weren't interested in releasing this thing. It was a major bummer. But thankfully, Cineverse, the same company that distributed Terrifier 2, Terrifier 3, is like just picked it up, is releasing it later on this year, August 29th. This movie looks good. I mean, this movie looks really, really good from the trailers alone. It looks like they've captured the same energy as the original, maybe in much more of a modern sense. I love that. What's the tagline again? It's like, show the fuck up. Show the fuck up. That to me is so Toxic Avenger. You know, this is a series that has always been stooped in satire and social commentary, which some people don't want to hear. Some people hate that, but man, that's what this series is at the end of the day. That's what that original movie is. And while yes, I think the original is, it's very abrasive. There's a lot of vernacular used in that I don't think would be used in a film nowadays. It's just one of those things that I don't know if all of it has aged very well. I think the Toxic Avenger needs a modern update, modern reboot, and this looks to be it. Some people hate this, how Toxie looks here. I don't understand. This looks so Trauma. This looks like Trauma with an actual budget, not a low budget. This looks like you actually threw some money at it. I mean, it's cartoonish, it's disgusting, it's powerful in terms of what it's trying to say. That's Trauma, but times 1,000, man. This movie seems to be capturing that spirit in all the right ways. I'm loving the looks of the trailer, loving the tone that's being teased as well, which is just so over the top and outrageous. I love his toxic looking mop that's like slicing people's mouths off and melting them and shit. I don't know. I'm loving everything about this movie. I cannot wait to see it. I'm dying to see this one. In fact, also has a lot of really good reviews, 92% fresh on Rotten Tomatoes with 25 reviews so far. I don't know, man. I got a lot of faith in this one, especially with its excellent cast. Peter Dinklage playing Toxie, Kevin Bacon, Elijah Wood, Jacob Tremblay, and Taylor Page all support Mr. Toxie here. And I think it's going to be great. I'm really excited for this movie. Cannot wait for it to drop in August. Definitely looking forward to this one. This is an update that I don't understand why it is falling under the radar. Oh my God, When Evil Lurks is getting a sequel from the same guy that did the original. Now, if you didn't see When Evil Lurks, I urge you, I beg you, I want to get down on my hands and knees and ask you to watch this film. This is one of the most disturbing horror films I have seen in the last 4 or 5 years. It is unbelievable. I will admit, I think I got a little overhyped. I couldn't see this one until way later on. Like, I don't think I saw it until like a month later, and nobody would shut the fuck up about it. Rightfully so, though, because it is excellent. When Evil Lurks is great. I think when I first saw it, I built it up in my brain too much, and I was like, oh, it's gonna be the best horror movie ever, and it's good. I mean, it is a solid 9 out of 10. That's where I sit with it personally, and I highly recommend it. I wouldn't give it that 10 out of 10, one of the greatest things I've ever seen, but it is certainly a 9. I think it is certainly a 9, right at the cusp there for me personally. And I'm really excited to see what they do in a sequel, because I think one of the strongest things about it is its concept. Have you ever wanted to see the Evil Dead done in an apocalyptic sense, not just into an isolated story? That's essentially When Evil Lurks. That's essentially what this is. Demian says that we have part 2 written, yes, and we're just waiting for the funding to come through. We have to make some script modifications to make it perfect, but the studio that wants to make it is already there. It is already there, I mean to say. So that's exciting. That means it's in very early stages as of right now. They haven't even started filming. They don't even have the money to make it essentially yet, but it's coming, and that is really exciting. The original film, When Evil Lurks, is about a pair of brothers that find a mutilated corpse near their property and convene with the locals to suss it out. They soon learn that the odd happenings in their village are the cause of a spirit that's found its way into a local man waiting for the proper protocols to rid his body of the festering demon. An escape attempt ensues as the film keeps its protagonists on edge, racing against imminent danger to shake the spirit's relentless clutches. Again, I could not recommend this movie more. I think it is easily one of the scariest in the past couple of years. Give it a watch. I can't wait for this sequel. Can't come soon enough, frankly. Dying to see what this one is all about. This is gonna be a gnarly cut. Look at that face. Benedict Wong bleeding out of his eyes. Oh my God. That's insane. I was saying on Twitter the other day, I'm like, that's what I looked like when I came out of Jeepers Creepers Reborn. Like, same exact face, same blood coming out of the eyeballs. I don't know what the hell is going on here, but Weapons, new trailer. A lot of people die in a lot of really weird ways on August 8th. Wow, ladies and gentlemen, the next couple of months are going to be insane for horror releases. Weapons is probably my most anticipated for the rest of the year. Right alongside Together, both of these movies are looking really good, really interesting ideas here. This is the follow-up from Zach Crager to Barbarian, which was one of my not all-time favorite horror movies. It's one of my favorite horror movies from 2022. Let's say that. And I'm really excited to see what this is all about. I think the big thing that I loved about Barbarian that seems to be very present here, at least confirmed by folks who have allegedly read the script. I don't know if I believe that or not, but folks are saying that it once again has a turn, just like in Barbarian, where you think it's about one thing, but then just slams you into something else out of left field, essentially. And from what we're being teased, it seems to be about kids going missing all at the same time in the middle of the night, exactly at 2:17 a.m. What the hell is going on with that? What are they doing? What is happening here? My big theory that I've posed in videos before is that this is a new take, a modern take on the Pied Piper, but in a horror sense. And I'm excited to see what that's all about. The Pied Piper, of course, like does his little tune on his fiddle. Is it a fiddle, a pipe, whatever? And he makes the kids all dance out of a village. Get the hell out of there, essentially. He kidnaps all of them. It's crazy. That's the grim fairy tale version of it, at least. This is probably going to be even darker, more modern. Maybe have a little something to say, which is interesting. But I'm not exactly sure where it's going. There's got to be some sort of turn. I mean, that to me makes a lot of sense coming from this director who did Barbarian, and I'm excited to see what it's all about. Sophomore features can often be slumps, which we hear about that oftentimes, and it's always a bummer when it happens. This does not seem to be that at all. Jordan Peele fired his manager because they lost the bidding war on this movie, because it's not a Monkey Paw production. That is how pissed he was about not having this movie. This is likely going to be a major swing for the fences and hopefully a home run, and I cannot wait to see it. Zach Krager was talking with Empire Online and said that it's a fun movie, it's funny, it's scary, it's inviting, it's not a grim, morose slog, and yet the story it tells is really fucked up. That to me is what I loved about Barbarian so much. I have a very fun time watching that movie, but it also hits on some extremely dark themes at the same time. Being able to, balance that, it's not easy to do something along those lines, and Zach is able to find a way to do that in the one film of his that I've seen so far. But considering his comedy roots, he was one of the members of The Whitest Kids You Know. I think everything he's gonna do is always gonna be a little funny. I have no problem with that at all. It's the same thing, just like Jordan Peele. I feel the same way about him. Everything that he's done has a little bit of humor to it, but he's also able to do something a little scary as well at the same time, which it seems to be a really fun flavor. I wouldn't describe either of those creators' movies as horror comedies, but they do find ways to tuck both of those things in there. If you want to learn more about this one, you can visit the maybrookmissing.com website, which kind of gives you a better look as to what the hell is going on in this community with all these kids disappearing, all from the same classroom. What's going on there? I will also say the cast for this movie is extremely strong. We have so many different people who are super popular in the space right now attached to this project, like Josh Brolin, Julia Garner, Alden Ehrenreich, Benedict Wong. It says he's from 3 Body Problem. Everyone knows him from Doctor Strange. Even if you're not into Marvel, I feel like you've seen an image of him from that. Come on now. Benedict Wong from Doctor Strange. I don't know the rest of these people, but you definitely know these 4 folks up here. Great casts so far. I'm really excited to see what this one ends up getting into. Look at that image right there. That looks terrifying. Dear God. Oh, and I hate to end this video with a not so great update, but here we are. The Strangers Chapter 2, baby. If Chapter 1 didn't do it for you, it doesn't seem like Chapter 2 is changing anything at all. And this tagline from John Squires here pretty much says it all. Halloween 2 style sequel. The trailer for this movie, I couldn't even bring myself to make a full video on this. There's just not that much to say. It looks like a watered down version of Halloween 2. It looks like the modern remake of Halloween 2, and it does not look good. It's kind of sad. I'm always excited about whatever my birthday movie is. Something typically comes out on or right around my birthday every single year. That's probably the same for literally everybody. But whatever my birthday movie is, it's usually something good. This year, it's unfortunately The Strangers Chapter 2, which comes out 2 days after my 27th birthday. Not super hyped to be seeing this one around that time, but I guess that's what we got. I was not a fan of Strangers Chapter 1 at all. It seems like the whole point of this trilogy is to explain the Strangers, which I just feel like is a fundamental misunderstanding of what is so great about these killers. I don't really care about, I don't care about who they are. I think that to me is what's so interesting about them. They're just people in masks killing people. It's not like there's anything else special to them. The one thing that makes them stand out from all of the other slashers just like them is the fact that, but until now, the movies had no interest in explaining their backstory. They were just there to kill. They were just crazy people who just wanted to kill people. You just thrown into that torment alongside the main characters in these movies. Now, Strangers Chapter 1, Chapter 2, and Chapter 3 seem to only have the goal of explaining where these characters came from whatever this town is, I guess. And it just feels like, exactly like I was just saying, it just feels like now it's a pretty pointless cash grab of a movie, which I think is really unfortunate, because it's clearly being made by folks who don't understand what made the Brian Bertino film so special. I know that it's, story by Brian Bertino, but what does that really mean? Come on now. I don't know. I think the one saving grace of this, as my friend Critical Overlord was saying over on Twitter, is at least Madeline Pesh is starring in it, and she has given it her all. I will give that to the original, the Strangers Chapter 1 movie. I do think that she's trying, which is cool. Would love to see Madeline Pesh in a better horror movie at some point in the future, for sure. But I just don't have too much to say about this trailer. I don't think it really offered up anything that really had me excited. Again, it just looks like more of the same from Chapter 1 with a Halloween 2 flair to it. We have Madeline Pesh waking up in the hospital, still being stalked by her killers from the previous film. So that's just, to me, that's not offering up anything new. You're just copying a slasher that is way better than yours. I don't know what to tell you. This one looks like ass, but I'm still gonna see it and review it. Hopefully it somehow manages to turn the trilogy around, but I don't think it will. We'll find out on September 26th of this year. What did you guys think about these updates? Let me know down in the comments below. Thank you all again for watching, and as always, don't forget to kill it out there, y'all.